So sorry, like we have, suppose we want to trade the New York session, isn't it? Right. So like before we are trading this New York session, which is we need to have certain drawn liquidities in mind, isn't it? So for this, before we come to our desk or something like that, we need to have our unmitigated liquidities that needs to be marked, right? We need to have this sort of things. So for this, we have our daily highs, isn't it? We have our daily lows, and for sessions, we have our session highs and lows. So these are the settings for your sessions timings, all right? So Ismay, we have, so this is 9 a.m. candle open, right? So this is pre-London, I mean pre-New York, right? So here this candle opens up. So we would want, we see, before we are trying to catch any trades, or if we want to catch any of the move that we want to do, we need to have a particular session bias, right? Or a particular day bias. So suppose if you are trading this Friday candle, right? This is your Friday candle, isn't it? So this was the Friday candle, and then I had a predetermined bias, right? What was my predetermined bias? That I would want the previous day low to be met, right? This low to be like met, isn't it? So in this case, when the midnight opens, right, which is at uh, 6 p.m. This is 6 p.m. London, New York time, which is also known as 1800. Like if we turn into UTC, right? So in this case, if I want the London lows to be filled, right? If I want the price to go towards this London low, I would want a similar situation here, right? I would want the London, I mean the daily candle to open, manipulate higher, and then go towards my original drawn liquidity, right? So this, the daily low was my drawn liquidity and my bias was bearish, isn't it? So just because my bias was bearish, I need to filter it out, right? I need to filter it out that where the price can actually go, right? So in this case, when I'm trading the NY session, we have our previous session highs and lows. So before the 9 a.m. opened, we had what? We had three unmitigated session liquidities available to us, isn't it? So in this case, we have the London high, we had the London low, and we had the Asia low as well. And plus we had our daily low as well. This is our original liquidity where the price wants to go, right? So in this case, when the 9:30 a.m. opened, it went up higher, took out the London low, and then it dropped lower, rejected lower, right? Aggressively rejected lower after creating an SMT with ES, right? So if we want to trade, right, first thing that we need to have in our set in our mind is whether which drawn liquidities are available to us and which drawn liquidities are the price might go, isn't it? So in this case we had all the unmitigated liquidity here. So suppose अगर हमारा 9 am का candle ना, if 9 am candle it opened up higher and it had a breakout up top, right? Creating an order block or creating a fair value gap or creating any sort of like narrative to build, right? So if it had done that, we would want this sort, we would expect that the daily highs to be taken out. But in this case, nothing as of that happened. Why? Because the price went up higher and it closed below somewhere here. But before that, before we participate in our uh, any any of the moves or any of the price action that is going to occur, what are the things that we need to keep in mind? First, session highs, session lows, daily highs and daily lows. That's done, right? The second thing is the concept that we need to keep in our mind. What are the, see, people say a lot of different things, but there are only 2 or 3 different things that you need to keep in mind when it comes to concepts. First concept is you are actually understanding the narrative with the help of PD arrays. Right, we are understanding narrative with the help of PD arrays. So what are different PD arrays that we will be using? There are only 2 things that we'll be using. One is FVGs, and then there is a change in state delivery. Right, these are the only 2 things that we'll be using to understand narrative. And narrative actually gives you what? It actually gives you whether the structure has shifted or not. Right, FVG CISDs actually gives you a structure shift or not, that whether the price is actually going upwards or niche. Agar upar jana hai to it will give you a proper narrative, and this narrative will be, we will understand this narrative with the help of FVG and CISD, right? And by this we actually understand what the structure is trying to do, right? Ye to ho gaya, right? And with this CISD and FVGs, this will also actually help you to take entries, right? It will actually help you to take entries in the market, right? And the narrative is and the narrative will actually give you what? That which draw on liquidity to the target. See, this is enough, to be honest. And one more thing is understanding SMTs. And one is SMTs, right? This is the only thing that you need. All right. I'll just give you an example of the Friday's trade that we actually took. All right. This is the only things. I mean, if you go to my videos, Purana wala, you will understand how we actually determine a narrative with the help of PD arrays. I'll just give you a brief. All right. I'll just give you a brief that how am I actually looking to take trades? How am I actually trying to get into the market? Understand that which draw on liquidity I want to target. See, all this concept that I have actually written down here, everything has been explained in the videos, right? So here the things are, I'll just be focusing on how can I actually make you understand all of this. All right. So before I trade the New York session, I have actually told you that कौन सा draw liquidities है, क्या we have to like target and mark just to have proper markings in the chart that this is this and this is that, something like that. All right. So now let's go to a 5-minute candle, 5-minute chart. All right. So इसमें हमें we have see, now everything has been looking very clear, right? So this is your London low, this is our Asia low, right, which is unmitigated. This was unmitigated, this low was unmitigated, plus we have our daily low here, right? Our original bias was trying to take out the daily lows. How did we determine that? We determined that by looking at the daily candles, isn't it? And this daily candle concept you will understand in the first video itself, daily candle profile, isn't it? So now, so when this this is 9 a.m. open, right? This was the pre-London open. So suppose ये Asia, I mean London high, London low hai, right? So if you're trading Nasdaq, right? If you're trading Nasdaq, there is this ES also, right? So ES maybe you will have Asia highs and Asia lows, है ना? So or NQ maybe you have Asia highs and Asia lows. So SMT is this London high was not taken out in this London low was not taken out in ES. That's why there is an SMT here. So this SMT came out. This was an SMT indicator, right? And then how did we figure out that the price is trying to go down lower? Narrative was this is the narrative we understand by having our PD arrays, right? So see this narrative with the help of PD arrays. So PD arrays are FVGs or CISDs, right? So in this case, we had a confirmation by this 5-minute change in state delivery confirmed that the price wants to go down lower. And you will also see that this is our session liquidity, right? This was our London range high, isn't it? Do you see any body closures above this high? No, right? So this is actually telling you that the price doesn't have enough strength to push up higher. ऊपर जाने के लिए strength ही नहीं है, right? Isn't it? That's why it is trying to go down lower. So in this case, so suppose see, I sometimes tell people, right, like agar if we are forming CISDs to the upside, right, instead of delivery to the upside, so which means the price wants to go up higher. And if you see my narrative video, you will find a particular section wherein I have explained what sharp turns are. So it's very similar to that. So which means the price doesn't want to go up higher, and then it has confirmed what? It has confirmed a bearish change in state delivery, isn't it? It has confirmed a bearish change in state delivery. So by this confirmation, what you can do is you can literally plan out trades, right? If you want to take trades in 5 minutes, you can literally take a trade something like this here, right? You can literally do this here, something like this, and target your London low or Asia low or whatever you want to target. You can do that. Very simple. But if you are in a 1 minute chart, what you can do is when this 5-minute change in state delivery gets confirmed, right? When this 5-minute change in state delivery gets confirmed, you can switch your bias just like that. Why do I say that? Because change in state delivery, when it happened in 5 minutes, it actually confirmed you what? It actually confirmed you your narrative, right? What is your narrative? The narrative is to go down lower, right? To go down to the next drawn liquidity that we were planned. And our session bias is also a bearish, isn't it? We're targeting the lows, isn't it? So isme, once this 5-minute candle got confirmed, you can easily take a trade using the 1 minute time frame also as your entry function. What you can do is you can use this 1 minute ka fair value gap. This was the first presented fair value gap after 9:30 open. So your 9:30 got opened up around, yeah, this was the 9:30 open. This is your 9:30 open. So any fair value gaps, right? Suppose there is a bearish fair value gap, first bearish after 9:30, whenever you have a first fair value gap which is given to you. So this was our first presented fair value gap, isn't it? So the price went up higher, took this fair value gap, and then it came down lower, isn't it? So what you can do is you can use this fair value gap. You can use a lot of things. You can use this 1 minute CISD as well. You can use when the price went down, it reacted from this area. What you can do is you can easily use this change trade delivery. This was a continuation order block, right? First order block again, then you have a second order block, right? You have a lot of different sections where you can actually use to take a trade. So basically what I'm saying is getting involved, right? Getting involved in a position, it is very easy once you understand what your narrative is and then where your draw on liquidity is by keeping in some of the concepts in mind. So see, it was very easy for us to understand, right? Why was it very easy for us to understand? Because we had a proper plan that where the price can go, right? So the first thing was, if I went to the daily chart, if I went to the 1 hour chart, daily chart se we found our bias, and with the session liquidities, we found out that the price can go at a particular direction, isn't it? So here the price wants to go at this directions, and then with the help of our fair value gaps and change to delivery, we understood that the price wants to go down lower, and then we participated either 5 minutes mein or either 1 minute mein, right? And see, it is not important for you. See, you need to understand one thing. It is not very important for you to top take or bottom take. Not important. Doesn't matter that you have to catch a trade at this area or catch a trade at this area. Doesn't matter. You just need a proper base set for you. थोड़ा सा मिल रहा है इतना से इतना, this is more than enough, bro, to be honest. This is more than enough. Or even if you are not getting an entry here, this is more than enough. Or whatever, suppose I don't get an entry at the top, which is this fair value gap. What I can do is I can literally wait for a confirmation when the price went up higher, took out, reacted from here, and created another change to delivery, right? So what I can do is I can literally take a trade from this one, like this, targeting 1:1, 1:2, or our draw on liquidity, something like this. My entry was this. Yesterday, my entry was this one. This was my entry yesterday. So I got 1.5, which I booked around 33 points. That's it. This was literally it. And then even if you don't get entry here, what you can do is you can still wait for the price to give you something, right? The price came down lower. So this was your 1800, right? Oh yeah, this was your 1800. 1800 is this one, yeah. The price went up like this. So see, do you see the structure is very bearish? It's not actually confirming you anything. So the best way, if you're trading a 1 minute, the best way you can look for entries is go to the 5 minute chart and wait for a confirmation in 5 minutes. So suppose यहाँ पे this is your Asia low, right? अगर यहाँ पे Asia low है, price came down lower, took the Asia low. If I had an inverse in 5 minutes, right? If I had an inverse in 5 minutes, or even if I go to 15 minutes, I don't see any bullish narrative here. What all I see is bearish fair value gaps, and this bearish fair value gaps gives you what? Gives you a proper narrative that the price doesn't want to go up higher. It wants to go down lower, right? So 5 minutes में देखो, 5 minutes में you have another FVG, you have a lot of fair value gaps here. This is giving you another narrative that the price doesn't want to go up higher, it just wants to push down lower. So अगर मेरे को ये वाला fair value gap, if this was inversed, if this fair value gap got inversed after taking down a liquidity, I can go down to a 1 minute chart and then look for entries, right? And then look for entries to tackle any other liquidities on top, right? But in this case, this bearish fair value gap was well respected, right? This bearish fair value gap was well respected. So when this is respected, what we can do is we can literally target lower prices, which is agar ye khatam ho gaya, we don't see a turnaround from this area, no need to chase the price, you can target the next liquidity. And the reason why I had all of this liquidity is to know that where the price can actually go. Agar mere paas ye sab nahi hota, if I didn't had any of this, I would have no clue, right, that यहाँ पे क्या है, because 1 minute में we are trading, and then if you don't have this kind of levels, it is very hard to switch and then understand, right, because the adrenaline rush is so high that we don't actually understand कि क्या क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा है ना. So इसमें you see the 5 minute fair value gap getting respected, right, price getting down lower, creating a structural shift here, right. The price is finding very hard. The price is finding very hard to actually shift structure. And how do you understand the structural shift? The structural shift is always understand by FVGs and CISDs. अगर 5 minute में हमें we are not getting any fair value gap or CISDs which is respected or disrespected, we are not actually switching our bias, right? So once the price tapped this 5 minute, came down low, again it wants try to go up higher. It inverts this, but then and there it inverted this. Hence creating what? Hence creating a BPR, right? Hence creating a BPR or a bearish fair value gap, right? It inverted this fair value gap here. So this got inverse, a bearish fair value gap. What you can do is literally take a trade from here again. Just a continuation short. You don't need to target the low. The only thing you need to do is target 1:1, 1:2. That's it. Nothing more than that. This was very simple. And now you do understand, right? What are the prerequisites that we need to have before we are trading a particular session. So in this case, if you're trading a London session, we will need to have Asia highs and lows, daily highs and lows, right? If you're trading New York session, we need to have both of this, right? And then our daily lows and daily highs, at where the price is trying to go, right? Very easy to understand. Any doubts you have, like, you need to ask me something. Sure.
In that 5 minute, there is this fair value gap, niche wala.
Yes, one. Yeah.
So when the second bullish candle forms now,
Mm-hmm.
we can expect like, okay, since the first bullish candle is taking Asia ratio,
Mm-hmm.
we can expect like, okay, it can reverse now.
Yeah, 100%. But
Which candle confirms us the low is not reversing once we go bearish?
narrative. It needs to show you a narrative. Narrative is, suppose this was the candle, right? This was the candle. It opened up higher and it flipped this bearish fair value gap, right? If it doesn't flip, there is no reason for you to flip your bias and no need to trade continuations. अगर ये वाला candle flip करेगा इसको and it will switch this bearish to a inverted bullish fair value gap, then you can switch a bias, right? Other than that, there is no need to do that. You understand? Like, see, suppose here the price came down lower. It came down, I mean, it swept a lot of liquidities, right? 5 minute mein we had a lot of push lower. It inverted this fair value gap, right? It inverted this bullish fair value gap, isn't it? So from here, if you want thoda sa continuation longs, we can do that as well, right? Yahan se, because see, ये वाली candle and from this candle, you just try to compare both of this. Where do you see enough more strength here? Lower, na? You see more strength in the lower area. Why? Because it has done two things. The candle has closed bullish, plus it has inverted a bearish fair value gap into a bullish fair value gap. You understand? That's the thing. See, first is you need to understand what the candles are doing, which liquidities are being swept, and then what is the narrative being built by FVGs and CISDs. That's it. Nothing more than that. Now you understood.